Before learning how to play, let's look up on a brief history of the game. The game was designed by some designers from the comics site The Oatmeal and Shane Small. It was originally just proposed as a Kickstarter project, which needed $10,000 in crowdfunding. Sounds like a ridiculously large amount for a card game? Well, it exceeded the goal in 8 minutes and set the record for the most backers in Kickstarter history. Now let's get into the game. In the cards deck are some exploding kittens. The game is played with the deck put face down at first. To start off, remove all the exploding kittens and all the diffuse cards from the deck. Shuffle the remaining cards and deal 7 cards face down to each player. Now deal each player 1 diffuse card, so they have a total of 8 cards including the diffuse card. Insert the extra diffuse cards back in the deck. Now, if there are only 2 players, put only 3 diffuse cards back in the deck and remove the other 2. Next, insert enough exploding kittens back in the draw deck, so that there is 1 fewer than the number of players. Remove the extra exploding kittens from the game. For example, for a 4-player game there should be only 3 exploding kittens, 3-player games should have only 2, and so on. Now shuffle the deck and place it as the draw pile. Remember to leave space for a discard pile as well. As players take turns drawing the cards, the exploding kitten is eventually drawn from the draw deck. If that happens, the player explodes and dies. There is a catch here though, and that is if that player has a diffuse card, they can then put the diffuse card in the pile, and relocate the exploding kitten to anywhere they want in the draw deck secretly. The player therefore will still remain in the game, and more importantly will know the location of the exploding kitten. Make sure that they don't look in the deck though, they are just allowed to insert the exploding kitten anywhere they want in the deck. The rest of the cards in the game are used to avoid the exploding kitten. For example, the card called See the Future. It allows the player to preview the top 3 cards in the draw pile. Now suppose the top card on the deck was an exploding kitten, the player can then use a skip card, so as to end the turn without drawing. If all goes to plan, the next player may end up choosing the exploding kitten and explode, unless they had a diffuse card. So each player's turn can be divided into 2 parts, action cards and drawing a card from the draw pile. During their turn a player can use an action card to turn the tide his way, or just simply draw a card, and then just hope it's not an exploding kitten. After a card is drawn your turn is basically over. So, first play as many action cards as you want, and then draw a card to end your turn. Just keep in mind though, that if you draw an exploding kitten while not having a diffuse card, you lose. To win you just need to be the last person alive who hasn't exploded. The number of cards in your hand doesn't really matter. Just make sure you don't blow up. There are some other things you should know too. Nope cards, they can literally be played at any time, even though it's not your turn. They can be used to stop the action of another player. So, if one player uses the See the Future card, you can use a Nope card and deny them the peek. However, if someone plays the Nope card on you, and you happen to have a Nope card as well, you can negate it and create a Yup and continue with your action. Now some cards actually don't have any instructions on them. With these cards you need 2 or 3 of a kind. If you have 2 of a kind, it can be played as an action and you can pick another player to steal from. That player should hold up his or her cards, and you can then pick a card at random. If you manage to get 3 of a kind, you get to name a card, and the player of choice to give it to you. Also, you can form 3 or 2 of a kind with any cards, even action cards, as long as the icons on upper left are matching. However, if the person you are stealing from has a Nope card, they can always block your theft by playing the Nope card. That's all. We hope you have a good time playing the game.